This video contains major spoilers for Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is a 2D Metroidvania, platformer-ish, Dark Souls looking kind of game. It's absolutely chock full of bugs. No, literally, there are bugs in every corner, looking to spread the will of their omnipotent dream moth god to whoever comes near. Which means, in other words, to fucking murk you and leave you bleeding to death in an alleyway, only wishing you could have jacked off to Zote Rule 34 one last time before death. Luckily, you can't bleed at all. No, when you're injured, you eject pure fucking void juice because you're a failed experiment made by the pale fuckboy, whose goal was to eliminate the previously mentioned Dream Moth God, known also by the Radiance. So let's just jump right into it. Here's a breakdown of all 63 Steam achievements of Hollow Knight, sorted by how many players have completed them. Charmed. Charmed is the easiest achievement to obtain in Hollow Knight, as you get it simply by basically just playing the fucking game. There are a total of 45 charms in the game, each giving you some form of power up, whether it's stronger spells, familiars, damage boosts, the list goes on. You can get a charm within the first 5 minutes of the game if you know where to look, so this achievement really isn't that notable. Falsehood. The False Knight is the first boss in Hollow Knight, and he's overall a super easy boss. He's a tiny mega dude who stole one of the great 5 Knights of Hallownest, Hegemal's armor. He doesn't know how to use it very well, so he's clumsy, and eventually dies because he knocks the ground up from under him and plummets to his demise. After taking his Hallownest visa, you pretty much just leave his chunky body there, which definitely won't have any negative consequences later on. Test of Resolve. Hornet is the second boss of Hollow Knight, and is also occasionally a Tsundere little bitch, but she's still my favorite character. Hornet is the daughter of the Pale King and Hera, one of the 3 dreamers. She was the result of Hera basically giving up her waking life for some worm dick. This also makes her your half-sister, so this is a global announcement. Stop making porn of Hornet in the night. Stop right this fucking instant. So, Hornet was raised in Deep Nest, or in technical terms, Satan's asshole. She was raised by spiders and is overall a super scary lady. However, in this fight she's a total bitch and you should wipe the floor with her, no problem. Connection. You gotta open up half of the fast travel stations. That's it, that's all. Surprisingly, according to Steam, only 42% of players managed to get this far, so if you've put in about like 5 hours, you're better than more than half the player base, so kudos. Illumination. You gotta beat the fuck out of my man Soul Master. He is a very large lad, with a pretty big health pool being the only little bit of challenge to the fight. His final phase gets a little bit hectic, but it's still simple as long as you stay calm. This absolute madman was trying to counter the effects of the infection by utilizing the power of Soul, hence the title of the Soul Master. However, in this world, Soul is basically your fucking life essence. So this guy was slaughtering hundreds of other bugs for his research before the Pale King cut his funding. Congratulations, you managed to make the Pale King, the guy who threw thousands of his children into the abyss because they loved him, decide that your ethics were skewed. That's actually kind of impressive. Respect. The Mantis Lords. Whoo, I love these guys. They rule the Mantis Kingdom and they do not take shit. They're fast, and the second phase consists of fighting 2 of them at once, and the soundtrack to this fight is just incredible. This fight was so much fun, and after this fight was when Hollow Knight clicked for me. I finally felt as if I had a grasp of the mechanics. Unfortunately, beating them unlocks Deep Nest, which immediately crushed the small flower of hope that blossomed from that experience. Soulful. Collect 3 vessel fragments, get more mana, easy peasy. Honor. You gotta beat my man Olgrim. He's the only remaining Knight of Hallownest, and he's gone batshit, if you will. Or maybe beetle shit would be more accurate, as his primary attack consists of throwing his own excrement at you. Overall, super easy fight. The only reason he's this far down the list is because he's hidden super deep in the sewers. Oh, I get it. You know, poop, sewers, whatever. Release. You gotta beat the Broken Vessel, another escaped vessel just like you. This guy's fucked though, he didn't even make it out of the Ancient Basin and he's super duper infected, so you kinda just put him out of his misery. However, this fight isn't the important part, it's what comes next because holy shit, now you have a double jump. It took me way longer than I'd like to admit to get the Monarch Wings, and this is pretty much the last exploration ability you'll find other than the Shade Cloak, so the game should really open up once you get these. Enchanted. Find half the charms. Wow, look at you go, you charming void being. Grub Friend. Collect half of the game's grubs. Holy fuck, these things are cute. Seriously, when you picture grubs, you usually think of like maggots or something, but these little boys are super chill. Beast. Beat the shit out of Hera. There isn't a boss stopping you from getting to Hera. Deep Nest is the boss. After trampling your way blindly through spiders, more spiders, and getting kidnapped by fucking cultists, the game just kinda gives it to you. Pro tip, if you get the Void Heart before killing Hera, when you wake up you can find Hornet crying over her dead mom. Nice! Attunement. Collect 600 essence. Come on, you know, essence, you know, dream essence, the thing that no one really cares about. Seriously, why are those tree things even in the game? 30 or so essence is a pitiful number compared to the hundreds you'll get from each dream boss. And collecting the essence from these dream trees or whatever, what are they even in fucking... What are... Whispering roots, like who even fucking... Anyway, collecting from these fuckers is just flat out boring. If you haven't played the game yet, just don't worry about these little boys. Proof of resolve. Oh shit, boys, Hornet's back, and this time she's brought her knife collection. Turns out Green Path wasn't even her final form, and she's ready to unleash her full power onto you. She's got saw blades, she's faster, the dead skin everywhere is getting all intense from the wind blowing, and oh god, and good job, you beat her. Here's the King's brand. Warrior. Welcome to the the Colosseum. Trial of the Warrior is the first trial of the Colosseum. There's nothing really eventful about this trial except for... Wait, you got an entire charm notch for this? And you had to beat the shit out of Zote? Never mind, this is the best achievement in the game. Teacher. Fucking murder Monomon. You have to deal with a fog canyon to get here, which is, in my opinion, the worst area in the game. Yeah, I think that Fog Canyon is worse than Deep Nest. At least in Deep Nest, you're allowed to hit the enemies. In Fog Canyon, if you fuck up, you're looking at an instant 2-mask chunk, which can be increased to a 4-mask hit if you're unlucky enough. Anyway, once you carefully manage to arrive at Monomon's library, you'll probably feel pretty relieved. You should be. This area is a cakewalk, especially if you have acid resistance, and Coral is there to make the Umu fight super easy. Oof, that statement hurt in several ways. Watcher. Fuck up Lurian. I'd heard so much about Watcher Knights, so I was sure to stock up on power when fighting these guys. I didn't even know that you could crush one before the fight even began, and I still blew through them. Honestly, I think I was probably too overpowered for this fight when I first got to it, because I'm pretty sure I had the Shade Cloak, which, as anyone who's played the Pantheons can tell you, makes the fight a little bit of a joke. But whatever, congratulations, you killed the last dreamer. Cartographer. Acquire our map of each area. Can we just talk about how cute the knight is when he's looking at this map? Oh, just look at his little legs, he's so small. No, that's it. Hope. Open up all the stag stations and find hope. A source of renewal. A chance to realize that maybe despair hasn't conquered the world yet. Oh my god, there's a bunch of dead stags everywhere. There's a bunch of gargantuan beetle corpses. Whose idea of hope is this exactly? Pretty fucked up. Conqueror. Complete the trial of the Conqueror. Fuck those boys up. Smack, smack, smack. Easy peasy. This time you get a fucking pale ore? One of the rarest items in the game. What the fuck? Execution. The Trader Lord is an absolute madman who was so tired of being weaker than his sisters that he decided to turn to the infection as a source of strength. To be fair though, it fucking worked. This guy alone is easily stronger than all 3 of the Mantis Lords combined, and it was an enormous pain in the ass for me until I got the Shade Cloak and beat it first try. The Shade Cloak is, in my opinion, super overpowered. Once you get it, half the bosses in the game just become a fucking joke. Also, if you're nice enough to cloth before this fight, you get to see her fucking die. But hey, at least she got reunited with their little bug GF. Rivalry. Save Zote from both the Green Path and Deep Nest, and he'll appear at the end of the Trial of the Warrior, where an epic battle will ensue. Obsession. Kill the collecting boy. He honestly seems like such a sweet lad, and I really felt bad about murdering him. He was probably just trying to protect the grubs from the scary, emotionless husk that broke into his lair. This whole fight also feels kind of off with how jerky the collector's movements are and the distorted boss music. Overall, a great fight. Peace. Ooh boy, we're getting to the dream bosses. Okay, so there's a bunch of boyos who have overwhelming feelings after you kill them, so you can dream nail their corpses and bam, now you get to fight a stronger version of the boss. The easiest one to put to rest is the Broken Vessel, now named the Lost Kin. In this dream version, he's even more infected, which now that I think about it actually doesn't make sense. Maybe he feels that he deserves the infection, as he's super fucked up from the rejection of the Pale King. Or maybe, because the dream versions only enhance the current mechanics, Team Cherry didn't feel like designing an entire new boss fight, and I'm just overthinking this. Awakening. Get 1800 essence, and take your mind reading to the next level. Your dream nail is now able to penetrate the deepest of minds, and you now have access to everyone's favorite area. The White Palace. Okay, so I lied earlier in the video. Fog Canyon isn't my least favorite area. It's this absolute fucking nightmare world. Buzzsaws are fucking everywhere, and whatever calm and relaxingly ambient music is playing in the background is never gonna be coherent, as it's gonna be constantly overtaken by the ear rape of fucking buzzsaws. Constant buzzsaws, which only add to the frustration of the White Palace itself, which is a giant platforming area that took me like a day to complete. Metamorphosis. Vortime. Find all the grubby boys. I'm very happy that Team Cherry put a map that shows all the grubs and their locations, because this way I was able to avoid using Google. Witness. Oh, this one's really sad. Really great wallpaper material on this one. You just gotta chill with Quirrell at the Blue Lake after fucking murdering his teacher. Cherish it, because after you leave, he fucking dies. He straight up offs himself. You monster. Void. This is when you start getting a bit more insight about the backstory of your character. You are a void boy, and not even a good one at that. You are abandoned for the Hollow Knight, who was also a failure. Shouldn't have been nice to him, you pale fucking idiot. World Soul! Find all the soul fragments. Strength. Defeat the failed champion. The false knight's true form. This is actually the dream boss I had the most trouble with, so I'm surprised he's only the second most defeated one. He's super fast, can easily corner you, and he does double damage. Overall, just fuck that guy. The Hollow Knight. This is it. This is the moment you've been waiting for. This is the fight that the game has been hyping up since minute 1. You finally get to fight the Hollow Knight, who's everything you wanted to be. This is peak performance. He's fast, he's slick, and he's dead. Wait, that's it? Realized that he was severely crippled by the infection, and honestly didn't really seem like a fair fight. You wish that you had the opportunity to fight him when he was at his strongest. You do not understand how much you will regret that wish later. Grand performance. And we're entering DLC content area. For this, you just gotta kill some weak gamers scattered around the map and do an easy but fun fight against the Troop Master himself, Grim. Mortality. Beat the Soul. Tyrant. You thought Soul Master had a big health bar? Then prepare your anus for his dream form, because this fight actually takes like 5 minutes straight. You barely get any chances to hit him, and it's just so slow and cancerous and Purity. Be a monster and kill the Nailsmith. You could have been happy. Why would you do this? You're a monster. Only do this on your second playthrough, which I will elaborate on why that is necessary later on. Dark Romance. Defeat Big Boy Zote. This fight is such a fucking meme. After Zote returns victoriously from the Colosseum, you must defeat Bretta's dream amalgamation of Zote. He's super jerky, and the way he fights you is just wrong. But sometimes just fucking collapse in the middle of the fight, which is somehow his strongest move. Absolute madman, 10 out of 10. Blessed. Find all the charms and receive Salubra's blessing. Fucking Salubra, this is terrifying. When I first entered Salubra's charm shop, I got a bigger jump scare than Nosk. And the best part is, when you get all the charms, she will always be with you, jizzing all over your bench whenever you need soul, and ensuring to add to the ever-growing cacophony of Dirtmouth. Soulless. Complete the bitch-ass Delicate Flower quest. Fuck this quest. You have to travel across the entire fucking map without taking any damage, no fast travel, nothing. This quest is a bitch, and the worst part is, at the very end, there's a super simple parkour section. It's very easy. You just gotta be precise and not be handicapped by, let's say, shaking hands and the mental damage of doing this for the 20th time. And what do you get? A fucking mask shard. What the Ascension. Collect 2,400 Dream Essence, and for fuck's sake, the Seer dies too? Ready? The best part about this is, as she evaporates into thin air, she talks about how great the Radiance is and how her people should not have forsaken her, which for the knight whose sole purpose of existing is literally to eliminate the Radiance. It must have sounded like your grandmother on her deathbed, pulling you in for one last message, and she whispers in your ear, "You know, Hitler should have won the war." Masked. Get all the health ups. This is easy peasy if you don't mention the fucking Delicate Flower quest. Dream no more. After getting the Void Heart, dream nail the Hollow Knight, and you'll be taken to the true final boss of the base game, the Radiance. This is a cool fight, and it's a little bit annoying that you need to fight the Hollow Knight each time you challenge her, but this pales in comparison to what awaits later on, so let it slide. This is technically the best ending, but the knight still dies, so yikes. Sealed Siblings. Don't dream nail the Hollow Knight when it's telegraphed, and you'll get the Hollow Knight ending, except this time you take Hornet with you. Why did you make me do this game? Fool. Beat Trial of the Fool. This is one of the things that I often see listed as one of the big things to do in Hollow Knight, but I honestly don't think it's too big of a deal. I beat it like second try and was really confused after reading all the bitching online. Although most of that is due to the Hollow Knight community's raw fucking hatred for primal aspids, which I honestly can't disagree with. Completion. Get 100% completion. Memory. Defeat the White Defender. Despite his slightly racist sounding name, this is the stronger version of the Dung Defender. He's honestly not that bad, and although his final phase might get a little bit hectic, I'm pretty sure the only reason he's the least defeated Dream Boss is because he was added late and he's hidden in a pretty bullshit spot. Okay boys, we are entering the top 10% of players. No more baby nap time. This is where the true gamers rise and show their colors. And what a way to start it off. Nightmare King Grim is one of what I like to call the three fuckers. The three fuckers are the barricade that stops those whose gamer rank is too low to progress. The first one on this list is Nightmare King Grim. This fight, holy fuck. Okay, so first of all, he does double damage, but that's pretty much the standard at this point of the game. This fight is like a dance. You have to know when you're leading and when you're following. However, if you fuck up, you're not stepping on your partner's foot. You're getting blasted in the face by a fucking Crimson Inferno, begging the RNG gods that he'll use a spike move so you can heal. Brotherhood. Oh fuck, we're already on Godhome. Okay, so in Godhome there are 5 pantheons. The first 3 are easy, the 4th is a challenge, and the 5th... Okay, so the first pantheon, you have to fight like 10 of the easiest bosses in the game, and then you get a new boss. You get to fight Shio and Mato. Hell yeah. The reunion is so awesome. Mato just drops in, or maybe it's Shio actually. Not sure, they're literally identical, but it's an easy fight though. They're basically just enhanced Watcher Knights, and they die super quick if you blast your spell at both of them. Inspiration. Second pantheon, you know the drill. Fight some bosses, get a new boss. This time it's Shio, and while the fight is disappointingly easy, it's really cool. This fight brings some much needed brightness to Hollow Knight's color palette, and it's overall a cool fight. Happy couple. Speaking of Shio, when you don't kill the Nailsmith and you let him live his happy bug life, he takes up art with Shio. It's very sweet and super wholesome, and it's unfortunate that only 5% of players didn't kill the Nailsmith and actually completed the story arc. Keen Hunter. You should kill one of each creature and do a little bit of digging for the fossils or whatever of the unkillable ones. Passing of the Age. Literally, what? After killing the Dreamers, Mr. Mushroom will spawn on the map. After equipping your mushroom charms, you can communicate, he throws some dank Hungry Night references, he descends into the ground, and you gotta Google his spawn points for the next 7 times, get an ending, and at the end you get a little cutscene of him flying through the air. He's probably gonna show up in each of Team Cherry's future games, but right now it's just, what? Banishment. After getting all the flames, go chill with Grum and banish the Grim Troop. Once this is done, it can't be undone, and you miss out on a fucking slapper of a boss fight, so put this off to your second playthrough. True Hunter. Check your hunter's journal and see which of the creatures you haven't killed enough of, Google their spawn points, and fuck them up. For this you get to see Skinny Boy Hunter, which is probably the most terrifying thing I've ever seen in my life. Focus. Beat the 3rd pantheon. Sly is the first boss I actually needed to practice in the Hall of Gods. He's simple once you get the hang of him, but it's a pain in the ass when you have to fight bosses for 10 minutes to get to him, only to die because you don't understand his final phase. Overall, still needs pantheon. Neglect. You know how you're constantly saving Zote's ass throughout the game? Well, it's always optional, and you are fully capable of just not helping him. He just straight up dies. Yikes. Soul and Shade. 4th pantheon, boys, here we go. It is at the end of this pantheon that we encounter the second of the 3 fuckers. And what a gamer he is. It's the Hollow Knight at the peak of his power, and he's ready to kick your ass. He's fast, but most importantly, he has extreme mastery over Soul and his own void body. I think it's pretty highly debated whether he's harder than Grim, but I think I'd consider him easier. I think I just prefer when I'm always able to be smacking the boss with a kick nail instead of the guy fucking teleporting everywhere, but I can see how people could find this fight harder. The whole thing happens way faster. This is probably my favorite fight in the game due to its lore significance and general pace. Speedrun 1. Beat the game in under 10 hours. 10 hours is such a large time frame that I wouldn't even consider this a speedrun, just replay the game, you'll get this. Speed completion. Despite that being my biggest problem with women, all you have to do is achieve 100% game completion and finish the game in under 20 hours. Now this sounds daunting, but it's actually very simple. Once you get a few early nail upgrades, you can just go to town on the game. And the best part is, since there's a total of 112% in the game, you can just pick 12 things that you don't want to do and replace it with DLC stuff. In this run-through of the game, you're going to want to make the opposite choices with the Zote, the Nailsmith, and the Grim Troop to maximize achievement efficiency. I believe in you, champ. Pure completion. Do basically everything available to you in the game, except for the 5th Pantheon and Path of Pain, and you will be rewarded with this achievement. Speedrun 2. Beat the game in under 5 hours. Honestly, this isn't a very big deal. The only reason that this achievement is this far down the list is that most find the idea of a speedrun daunting as they require too much commitment to memorization about the game. However, I can assure you that in a 5-hour speedrun of Hollow Knight, there's basically no optimization required. After looking at a guide of which order to do things, I was basically able to beat the game in 4.5 hours on my first try, and that was with me dying a combined 50 times to Watcher Knights and the Hollow Knight. Seriously, those guys are freaking tough when you don't have any nail or health upgrades. Steel Soul. Beat the game in Steel Soul mode, Hollow Knight's permadeath mode. Embrace the void. I have been not thinking about this fucking achievement because it's just the worst. Embrace the Void earns my title of Rat Bastard Achievement. Okay, so you know those little pantheons you just did, right? What if you had to do all of them at once, with new shit being added in and all the run killers thrown in the back? In the Pantheon of Hellenes, you're required to beat every single boss, Dream Warriors, the enhanced Dream bosses, and some new bosses just thrown in there in one go. Yeah, there are benches in the Pantheon to serve as healing stations and give you the ability to change your charms, but don't be fooled. As soon as you die, you will be ejected straight out of the Pantheon. No amount of suffering I've encountered can compare to the Pantheon of Hellenes. If you show me a picture of dual Vengefly Kings, I'll be thrown into a PTSD-induced epileptic seizure due to the fucking memory of restarting the hour-long Pantheon at 5 in the morning after dying in the end. And the end! Holy shit, the end! The end of the Pantheon has Markoth with no floor, level 3 Great Prince Zote, Failed Champion, Nightmare King Grim, and after a bench, Pure Vessel, followed by the single most infuriating creature in the game, Absolute Radiance. This is the third of the three fuckers. This absolute fuckface of a boss fight earns that title. This fight relies so heavily on RNG, and you've got to fucking pray as hard as you can that it doesn't shoot those fucking tracking orbs at you. It has 10 billion health, 4 stages, and it's just the worst thing. It's just the worst. It is at the end of the fifth Pantheon that the three fuckers will combine forces to submit you to what will result in repressed trauma that will take months to deal with in therapy. The worst part of this achievement is that the first half hour of the Pantheon is absolutely brain dead. Seriously, I would just zone out and take down the bosses by face tanking and muscle memory alone until I reached around the right defender. 13 in every 1,000 Hollow Knight players have achieved this, and it's just the fucking worst. 10 out of 10. Thank you, Hollow Knight. You very easily became my favorite game with your entertaining characters, fun as fuck gameplay, and bopping soundtrack. And there's another achievement after this one. Fuck. Steel Heart. With a 1.2% completion rate, you must 100% the game without dying a single time. I actually did this with my speed completion run for maximum efficiency. It's super simple if you just Alt F4 whenever you get to unmask. Is it cheating? Well, I mean, kind of. Cherry, what the fuck? What are you doing here, sweetheart?